Welcome to the feast, I unleash, I'm a motherfucking...
Hi guys, so today's video is going to be about reverse dieting because I feel like at this point in the year, a lot of people are going into their off season and calling it a reverse diet or a lean bulk or a full-on bulk or dirty bulk or whatever you hear people call it. So I figured I would just share kind of how I have approached this over the last, I think it's been 2 months, so like 8 to 10 weeks probably. So yeah, we're just gonna get started. Basically, what is a reverse diet? A reverse diet is what you should do once you have finished a cut and you are in a very low caloric deficit. And reverse dieting is basically just slowly increasing your calories so your metabolism can adjust back up to more food and you are not gonna get fat, to put it bluntly. So the first thing I want to talk about is how much do you increase your calories? Obviously, this is going to be different for every single person, and you should know your metabolism and pay attention to your biofeedback better than anyone else, if you don't have a coach, of course. And so basically what I have done is I have increased my calories by 200 every 2 weeks. You can increase them I would recommend every 1 to 3 weeks, depending on you, your metabolism, how your body reacts, and such. And then kind of going along with that is how do you calculate your macros when you're increasing. So I would always say or recommend you should be getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, 150 grams protein. Easy enough, that should always really stay the same. And then for carbs and fats, I would suggest making your fat intake about 25% of your calories. So just figure out if you're up to 2,000 calories, whatever 25% of 2,000 is, and then divide that by 9 because 1 gram of fat is worth 9 calories per gram, and you will get your fat macros. If that confused you, I have a video. It's called Macros for Beginners. Go watch that. It kind of explains it more, and also it's easier to look at this on paper. I'm more of a visual learner, so it's hard to describe that. But anyway, make your fats 25% of your calorie intake, and then carbs will just be the rest. And then every time you increase, just kind of recalculate. Protein, like I said, should usually stay the same, maybe varies within like 10 grams if you want, it's up to you. So yeah, every time that you increase your calories, just kind of recalculate the math, and that will have you on a good path. So a lot of people will say that they're doing a lean bulk, and basically what that means is you will never go more than like a few hundred calories above what your maintenance calories are. So basically, let's say that your maintenance calories are 2,200, and if those are your maintenance calories, then at the peak of your bulk, like the highest amount of food that you're eating, or the most food you're consuming, highest calories, you probably shouldn't go above like 2,500, or else you're just gonna add unnecessary body fat. And if you're okay with that, then go you, that's great. But if you plan on cutting again, then it's gonna make it a little more difficult. You're gonna need to take a little bit more time to get that extra body fat off. So what else is nice about a lean bulk is you can keep some definition, but also still grow your muscles and enjoy food, lots of food. So that is a lean bulk. Now, other people will say like they're just doing full-on bulk or a dirty bulk or whatever you hear them call their off-season. And basically, if you're doing a dirty bulk, you are not eating any micronutrients and you are just flying by the seat of your pants. You are eating whatever you want, and I seriously don't recommend that, because if you're not like tracking anything, then you're not really feeding your body the way that you need to grow, unless you're just an intuitive eater and you've been doing this for a while. Because like, yeah, you can eat like 3 cheesecakes for breakfast and there's your 3,000 calories for the day, but that's gonna have no protein. And your muscles need the protein that we calculated earlier, because if you're not feeding them, your body's gonna start pulling your muscle fibers as energy, and you're gonna lose your hard-earned muscle that you should be building during your bulk or your off season. So, by the way, I don't like the word bulk because I don't know. I just don't like it. I like off season and I like improvement season, because you should always be working to get better. So there's that. Also, with a full-on bulk, Micronutrients are still important. If you're not getting your micronutrients, then you're not going to feel great, first off, and your body's not going to metabolize things the way that it needs to, and you're not going to reap the benefits of what you're eating. So overall, keeping a pretty clean diet and it's not even a diet, a pretty clean food intake plan is going to be most beneficial, because it will put you in a better place when you're ready to cut again, because you will be used to eating clean. And obviously in the off season you can eat, more freely, but what I like to do is keep it about 90% clean, and then the other 10% I'll have things that are calorie dense but have no micronutrients. So like I have a sweet tooth, so cookies and stuff like that, which is fine because I practice if it fits your macros, and if it fits your macros is just godly. So if you're not practicing that, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah. And then the last point that I wanted to make is, when you are in an off season and you are eating to build muscle tissue, this is not the time to eat volume foods, as in like salads and things that are voluminous but don't have that many calories, because like pushing food can get really hard, especially when you're reverse dieting and your body is not used to that much food and that many calories. So seriously, like that's why it's also okay to eat like calorie dense foods, like like I said, sweet stuff, desserts, whatever, cheeses. I love cheese. Can you tell what I'm passionate about? So yeah, just keep that in mind. I mean, if you eat a salad for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're gonna have to push so much food at the end of the day, and like it's uncomfortable. Which also reminds me, take a probiotic, keep things nice. That's all I'm gonna say about that. To wrap things up, the reason that you would reverse diet is to not add extra body fat, and it's also just to keep your body from going haywire and just pushing a bunch of food, because when you are the deepest in your cut, your metabolism it exists obviously, but it can only handle so much. So like it can only handle about as many calories as you've been feeding it. So if you instantly throw 1,000 extra calories into your intake the next day and do that consistently for literally a week or two, your body's not going to know what to do with all that extra food, because it literally cannot metabolize it. That is your metabolism trying to catch up, and it will just store it as fat, and that's literally the science behind it. So that's why I would recommend reverse dieting very slowly. Be patient with it. If you increase your calories, in small increments every 1 to 3 weeks, I say whatever, 2 weeks, your metabolism is able to adjust, because our bodies are very good at that. Even when you're going into a cut, your metabolism adjusts, obviously, which is why you keep decreasing and adding more cardio, blah, blah, blah. That is the most important thing to keep in mind, is be consistent with it and be patient. So I hope, if you're still watching this, that this helped you. If it did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.